A couple of weeks ago, a Somali Muslim police officer in Minneapolis fatally shot a white unarmed woman in cold blood. This shooting sparked international attention since the victim, Justine Damone, was originally from Australia. In the past, the left has jumped on police shootings faster than a dog on a meaty bone, but this time they are uniquely quiet. Now, it has become clear as to why they were so silent, and if this rule were to pass it would spell disaster for towns across the country. The city of Minneapolis has by all accounts been going downhill and fast. Ever since Liberal Mayor Betsy Hodges has taken office, she has been doing her best to transform the Midwestern city into a Muslim country. Hodges has allowed a flood of Somali Muslim migrants to enter and destroy the once thriving city. On a daily basis, women are threatened with rape and murder as Sharia law police officers patrol the city. Also, Hodges has set up an anti-blasphemy hotline, so that Muslims can report people who harass them or speak badly about Islam. If that was not all bad enough, Hodges desires to bring more Somali Muslims onto the police force. It is obvious that this woman does not have the best intentions for the city of Minneapolis. Thankfully, Hodges is up for re-election, but it is who is running against her that is terrifying, and if he gets in, this city could get only worse. The saying "the lesser of the two evils" has been used many times to describe our political landscape, but in this, it is the perfect description. State Representative and Minneapolis mayoral candidate Raymond Den is running against Betsy Hodges for her seat, and believes he has the perfect solution to police violence. Take away their guns. Here is more from Fox 9. State Representative and Minneapolis mayoral candidate Raymond Den is calling for major policing changes, proposing to take away guns from the majority of officers. Den is one of the several candidates running to beat current Minneapolis Mayor Betsy Hodges in the fall. He recently won the support of voters at the Democratic Farmer Labor Convention, and now his call to disarm police of their side guns is garnering major attention. I'm not saying they don't have access to that, just like they have access to more lethal weapons in their cars. I would believe they would still have access to their guns in their cars, said Den. Den says there need to be drastic changes in how officers are trained. He would be open to officers using other means to protect themselves, like a nightstick or pepper spray. I think as we look at how to change policing and how we get officers to not react to use their gun in situations, but learning skills around de-escalation training, I think are important, he said. And if we are going to talk about changes in gun policy, we shouldn't start with police officers who are going to be operating in a world with people who have guns, said Hodges. Den says the details of his no-gun proposal are still in the early stages, and he wants to sit down with police officers and come up with a strategy that keeps both the community and law enforcement safe. But the head of the police union, Lieutenant Bob Kroll, says there's not a chance this idea would fly with any cop. I don't think the people in Minneapolis are logically ready for anything like this, said Kroll. Who would ever do the job of policing again? It's absolutely an absurd thought. Fox 9 reached out to several of the other candidates running for mayor. All agreed that there needs to be substantial reform within the police department, but they say stripping officers' guns is going too far. For years, we have heard the left say that police in America should not carry weapons because of police shootings. Now, yes, there have been times that an officer should not have drawn his weapon, but there are plenty of times that they needed to. Police officers every day encounter dangerous criminals that seek to do harm to anyone they come into contact with. These officers have a right to protect themselves from those who are trying to harm them, and so do we. The only issue here in Minneapolis is that they should not be hiring Somali Muslims as police officers in the first place. That in itself is the very definition of foolishness, and it cannot be allowed to continue if they are really want to end police violence. It could be argued that there needs to be more police training, but to disarm the police is absolute poppycock. This is just another situation where common sense is being abandoned for political correctness, and it cannot be allowed.